Hi, so today is the second day of me learning physics relentlessly. So I want to talk about the difference between distance and displacement. In Indonesia, we call it as we refer it as jarak dan perpindahan. Jarak is distance and perpindahan is basically displacement. So bedanya apa sih? Kenapa mereka mirip-mirip tapi mereka beda? So jarak itu ini jaraknya itu ntar kasih lihat ini. Ini kita punya A, C sama B. Jarak jarak AB itu 50 meter, jarak ABC itu 70 meter, jarak ABCA itu kan berarti ke sini dulu kan, berarti 50 kan. ABC berarti nambah kan jadi 70, tambah lagi 30 jadi 100. Perpindahannya A, B, C, A itu nggak ada alias 0. Karena it's not moving. Walaupun dia sebenarnya udah jalan, dia nggak moving. Jadi jarak sama perpindahan itu bedanya apa? Jarak itu seberapa jauh kamu menempuh. Misalnya aku dari sini ke sini, terus ke sini itu kan aku jarak kan ya, ada energi yang aku keluarkan. Tapi kalau perpindahan, aku ke sini terus aku balik lagi. Itu berarti perpindahanku itu nggak ada karena sama aja. Jadi perpindahan itu penting banget kamu ke sana, ke kiri, ke kanan. Karena itu yang dihitung. Perbedaan kamu, jarak kamu sama posisi semula, sama posisi kamu sekarang itu yang dihitung. Effort kamu buat ke sana, ke sini, terus ke sini lagi itu nggak dihitung kalau di perpindahan. Sementara kalau di jarak itu baru dihitung. Itu sih ya.
Displacement is the difference between the
Tuh,
final position and
displacement
the
itu
initial
selisih
position.
antara posisi awal
So
sama
let's
posisi
say
akhir.
if we have a number line, and let's say this is position 0. So John traveled 8 meters east. So
Oke,
now he's
dia
at
8
position
meter ke timur.
8 on a number line.
Ya,
So during the first part of his trip, his
jadi dia plus 8 karena kalau ke kanan di garis bilangan itu kan positif kan ya. Kalau ke kiri baru dia jadi negatif. Nah, dia plus 8 terus minus 3. Jadi dia sekarang di posisi 5. Perpindahannya 5, jaraknya 8 ditambah 3. Jaraknya 11. Dia menempuh jarak 11 meter, tapi perpindahannya dia itu 5 meter gitu. Tuh, his displacement is 5. Dan yap, jarak yang dia tempuh itu 11 meter. Oke, jadi jarak itu adalah besaran magnitude. Maksudnya magnitude itu apa? Dia nggak peduli kamu ke kiri kah, ke kanan sama kamu gerak. Ya, bakal nambah. Tapi perpindahan itu besarannya vektor. Yang mana artinya besaran vektor itu, kamu ke kiri kah, ke kanan, ke depan, ke belakang itu measure. Kayak misalnya aku jalan 10 langkah ke depan, terus aku balik 2 langkah ke belakang. Itu di vektor itu ngaruh. Jadi hitungannya bukan aku jalan 12 langkah, tapi aku cuma beda 8 langkah kan dari posisi awalku. Itu perpindahan 8 langkah. Tapi kalau di jarak berarti aku jalannya udah 12 langkah gitu. Oke, keep in mind kalau jarak itu selalu dia nilainya positif. Tapi perpindahan atau displacement itu dia bisa jadi positif or negatif. Oke, alright. Displacement. Well, it is direction, isn't it? Oh, but you make an arrow, sir. Okay, okay, north. Okay, displacement because it's an magnitude and direction. It's displacement atau perpindahan karena dia punya direksi atau arah. Sementara kalau dia nggak punya arah, dia itu berarti dia cuma jarak. Ini magnitude. It's magnitude and this is direction. Every displacement have direction. And if it doesn't have direction, it means it's simply a distance. Both distance and displacements have magnitude. The right one here is magnitude. Okay, continue. Uh, 60 meters. Yeah, oh yeah. Alright, T for time and G for distance, and the speed is gonna be 30 meters per second, and every second the distance will be multiplied by 30. Yep, yeah, alright. Easy, easy. Alright, so there's so much of this. And basically all talking about motion, the motion. Motion can reminder me with debate. So we have speed and velocity, average velocity. This is a note I take from Google. So there's some dude over internet that share his notes, if I remember correctly, and I got this note from him. And it's actually good because he make this, what is the English? This practice test for his notes, so I could test my knowledge, and I actually kind of understand because thanks for his practice questions. It's really helpful, and even I think his handwriting is something else. Like, oh, it's kind of busy and things. Okay, so I think there's a average speed over here too, maybe somewhere. Let me share it. Bukan di sini, nggak sih di atas? Di atas. Nah ini, nih kecepatan rata-rata. Aku I'm not quite understand. Jadi intinya dia kecepatan beda-beda dan 40 meter. Terus kita tahu dari soalnya kalau waktu T time A ke B itu cuma 10 detik. Jadi kecepatan rata-ratanya berapa? Walaupun dia kecepatannya di sini beda-beda, ada yang 3 meter per detik, ada yang 1 meter per detik, ada yang 5 meter per detik, ada yang 3 meter per detik. Tetap aja dia, kita langsung totalin jaraknya itu kan 40. 40 bagi 10 berapa? 4 meter per detik. Ya, sama kayak yang hitungin rata-rata nilai and generally basically counting the average in general way. I think it's quite the same thing. Okay. Oh, what? What was? Huh? Mm-mm. Alright, we're talking about speed. Okay, 50 meters per second. How long it takes to this object to travel 1,000 meters? We're looking for the time, so we use this formula over here that 3 multiplied by t to get to d. So, so 1,000 meters is equal to 50 meters per second multiplied by t per 50. It's gonna be, yeah, no. It's gonna take 20 seconds for this object to travel 1,000 meters. Okay, what's the difference between speed and velocity? Okay, this is the thing that not exists in this now. I will put it here. So we also have speed and velocity. Okay. Okay, so velocity has direction just like apa tadi displacement. How do I want to edit this. Let me. Okay, so has direction just like okay. For 45 meters per second and alright, it's simply moving and then it's mean it just a speed because we're not tell what is the direction. We don't get the direction, so it's simply just speed and not velocity. It has a direction right now, so it's gonna be velocity because yeah, it has direction to the west, and that's why it's called velocity. Alright, so if you combine these two, we have speed and we have direction, we get the velocity. So what's the velocity? Velocity is not, ya trend TikTok beberapa tahun lalu atau kemarin ya. Velocity is a mix. No mix actually. Velocity is included speed and direction. So speed is a speed. Just it doesn't have direction. But velocity has speed and direction. The speed is here and the direction is here. So it's make a velocity. Yay! Okay. So velocity tells you not just how fast things moving, but also where it go, the direction where it's gone. Okay, so speed is the absolute value. If you don't know absolute value, it's nilai mutlak di bahasa Indonesia. Nah, nilai mutlak itu maksudnya misalnya aku punya minus 20, kalau masuk ke nilai mutlak dia itu bakal 20 aja nilainya. Maksud dari nilai mutlak itu sendiri, jaraknya dia ke 0 itu berapa sih? Kalau minus 20 kan dia jaraknya ke 0, 20. Ya udah, 20. Positive 35 meter per second. Okay, so now we're going to average speed. There's actually, wow, really real mods of this. And yeah, I will study all of this today. Average speed. Okay, so sometimes in physics we need to counting the average speed of an object. Okay, so just like this one over here. So the total distance of this ya, kita nggak ngeliat di sininya, nggak di sini, tapi di sini langsung bawah. 30 tambah 10, 40. Terus waktu yang dibutuhkan itu cuma 10 detik, jadi kita tinggal 40 bagi 10, 4 meter per detik. Per detik. Ya, per detik. Wow, that was fast. I think we just talking about average speed and then we're moving to average velocity. Oh, ada kok velocity sini, aku nggak lihat ya berarti. Sorry. Although they didn't cover the velocity over here. Cuma ada kecepatan, cuma ada speed di sini. So if average speed is equal to speed total speed or per atau over total time, average velocity is displacement over time. You know. Okay. Okay, so keep in mind that velocity is associated with displacement. Kelajuan itu dia temannya perpindahan. Tapi kalau kecepatan dia temannya kecepatannya temannya kan. Oh, sorry. Jadi speed itu temannya kecepatan itu temannya jarak. Tapi kalau perpindahan dia temannya kelajuan. See? Jadi kan mereka kalau perpindahan sama kelajuan itu sama-sama punya direction. That's why they are friend. And kecepatan sama jarak itu sama-sama nggak punya direction. That's why they are associated with each other. Oke. Okay. Ntar ketik dulu. Nah, ini dibahasnya di sini anjir. Oke, jadi velocity temennya displacement, terus speed dan distance. Bentar ya. Okay. Okay, so we know that A to B is two ketutupan. Okay, jadinya 12 meter, and then B to C is 20 meter. So A to B is gonna be 12 and B to C is 20 meter. That means the total for the distance is basically 12 plus 20 is gonna be 32 is the distance, but the displacement is gonna be minus 8. Minus 8 because it's actually moving from here to here, it's minus 8. $32. Eight. Alright.
The first part of the trip going from A to B is positive 12 because the object is traveling in a positive x direction. The object is going east. For the second part of the trip, the
It's
object is
gonna be
traveling west
minus
towards
8.
the negative x direction. And
Minus
so going
8.
from B to C, the displacement is negative.
Yeah,
So if
it's
we add up
negative.
12 and negative 20, we can get the net displacement, which is negative 8.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind, you can also treat this as a number line. Let's say A is at position 0. B will be at position 12. And then if you do 12 minus 20, you'll see that C is at position negative 8. And the difference between these two positions will be the net displacement, which is still negative 8. So the final position minus the initial position will give you the net displacement. Now let's divide it by 4 seconds. So the average velocity is negative 2 meters per second. And it makes sense because the net result is that the person traveled in a westward direction towards the negative x-axis. So going from A to C, ignoring B, the person traveled towards the west. And that's why the velocity is negative, because anytime you're going in the west direction towards the negative x-axis, it will be negative. If you're going towards the positive x-axis or in an eastward direction, it's going to be positive.
Oh,
Now let's talk about
it's not smooth.
acceleration.
Okay, hello. So, wait a bit. That was so fast. I don't. What
Now
happened?
what about average? And it's west. 4 seconds. So let's say going from position A to position C, I have 1 meter.
Okay, I know, I know, I
So
know.
that total part of the trip going from is negative
I don't
is at
really
position 12, and the
focus it
difference
earlier, so it's gonna.
will give you, so the average velocity is negative 2 meters per second.
Okay, so The average velocity is gonna be basically if it's average speed, we're gonna it's gonna be speed over the total what's it called time we needed, and then for average velocity we need the displacement over the time. Displacement of this thing is 8 because we're going there for plus 12 and then we're going there for minus 20. Plus 12 and minus 20 is equal to minus 8 and we got this. So the average velocity is gonna be minus 8 over 4 and is equal to minus 2 meter per second. So the time is the same over here for both average speeds and average velocity.
And it makes sense because the net result is that the person traveled in a westward direction towards the negative x-axis. So going from A to C, ignoring B, the person traveled towards the west. And that's why the velocity is negative, because anytime you're going in the west direction towards the negative x-axis, it will be negative. If you're going towards the positive x-axis or in the eastward direction, it's going to be positive. Now let's talk about
Oh shit, I was talking earlier. Can you hear me? I guess you're not. So I have this. Yeah, yeah, no, I know. Okay, I guess it's covering this thing. Wow, it has 36. It's like the student for my class this year. I'm a vocational high school student anyway.
acceleration. What is acceleration?
Okay, what is that? Percepatan. The subtitle
Now,
already
you've
told me what is
encountered
that.
acceleration when driving a car. A good way to think about it is imagine two vehicles. Let's say a truck. I'm not the most artistic person, but we'll work with this. And let's say a sports car. Which of these two vehicles have, let's say, a greater acceleration? Is it the truck
I
or
don't know, based on their speed
the
limits.
sports car?
Oh,
So, what is
the sport car,
acceleration?
of course.
Acceleration tells you how fast the speed is changing, or more technically, how
Accelerations. Alright, let me write that down. So ACCEL acceleration.
fast the velocity is changing. So the truck can probably go from 0 to 60 miles in maybe, let's say, 30 seconds. A sports car can go from 0 to 60 in a shorter period of time, let's say in 5 seconds. So because the sports car can get to a higher speed or to a certain speed faster than the truck, it has a greater acceleration. And so acceleration tells you how fast the velocity is changing. Acceleration is defined as the change in velocity divided by the change in time. Or sometimes you could just put t. So you can write it this way. Let me adjust the formula. So if you see the triangle, it simply means change. So acceleration can be written this way. It's the final velocity minus the initial velocity divided by the time. So to calculate the acceleration of the truck, notice that the change in velocity is 60. 60 minus 0 is 60, divided by the time, which is 30. So 60 divided by 30 is 2. So you can write it this way, as the change in velocity divided by the change in time. Or sometimes you could just put t.
Anyway, this triangle thing is called a delta. So delta
So you can write it this way. Let me adjust the formula. So if you see the triangle, it simply means change. So acceleration can be written this way. It's the final velocity minus the initial velocity.
yeah. Oh shit. The delta thing basically mean the average. Average. Like I have 15, then I have 20. The delta is gonna be 20 minus 15. It's gonna be 5, like that.
Divided by the time. So to calculate the acceleration of the truck, notice that the change in velocity is 60. 60 minus 0 is 60,
60,
divided by the time, which is 30. So 60 divided by 30 is 2. So the acceleration of this truck is
2
2 miles per hour per second, because we divided miles per hour by seconds. So it's miles per hour per
miles per
second.
hour for every
Now, the
second.
acceleration of the sports car is 60 miles per hour. That's the change in velocity divided by 5 seconds.
This
60
makes
divided by
5
5 is
seconds.
12. So it's 12 miles per hour per second. As you can
12
see,
miles per hour
the
per
acceleration of the
second.
sports car is much greater than the acceleration of the truck.
Okay, how he get this anyway? So it's 60 minus 0 is gonna be 60, and 60 is divided by 5 seconds. The second here, the second here, so the second we put it here, so we're gonna get a 60 over 5 is gonna be 12. So it's the acceleration atau percepatannya itu cuma percepatannya itu berupa 12 mili per jam per detik.
The truck is going to take a long time to go from 0 to 60, but the sports car will get there a lot faster, and so it has a greater acceleration.
Okay.
And so that's the basic idea behind acceleration. It tells you how fast the velocity is changing. Now let's make
Okay, let's taking a look in the notes. Well, it's here. It's kind of embarrassing. Sorry, it's all red, you know. So,